about to get serious here!
There's no winning against me now.
Alright everyone, JB here, and we're back with another Dragon Ball Let's Reveal challenge today. Now today we're going to be doing our pre-anniversary beginner's guide. This video is pretty much long overdue, due to a lot of issues, especially with me uploading as well, because the main issue was I was having some audio issues, especially whenever I would try to record in OBS. At first it was, me cutting in and out with my microphone in the middle of videos at random times, and now there's like a humming noise, which is still kind of there, but it's not as loud. I sort of fixed majority of the problems, and that's pretty much the main issue, why I have not uploaded. And then also I have been pretty sick the past week. I am kind of still sick recording this video right now, but at this point, it's been almost 3 weeks. I can't keep pushing these videos back. I already have a lot of videos I need to put out and have for you guys, so I do apologize in advance for that. But if you're new around here, consider leaving a like on the video and joining the channel. It is very much appreciated. Now, occasionally, if you do hear any like humming in the video, that is exactly what I'm talking about, but hopefully you guys don't, since I am going to have the background music playing whenever I edit this. So we have the anniversary. By the time this goes up, the new LF reveals are gonna already be out by the time this is uploaded, but we have about a month, right? So next month of about that 25th to 28th area, that is where we're pretty much gonna be, seeing the well, basically them like promoting it. There's no new characters coming on that time, but that's where they're gonna start it and everything and promote everything. So first thing is being, I think, right now is actually a pretty good time for you to start, especially if you're a new player coming into the game, simply because it's the 100 million campaign alongside the Saiyan starter campaign, which has not been the best, but we're getting a new LF, like I said, so hopefully they change something. And there's a couple things we want to go over first. This is going to be into sections. Now, to me, this is probably the best time to get started, especially for a beginner player, because there's a couple things going on right now. And what I mean by a couple things, right? So we head to news. So there's a couple things. They added this new event called Go for Red. Now you can do this every day, twice a day, to get 10 slot removers. And everyone knows if there's no raid going on, or you're not getting the slot removers from like the space-time rush, shop. Slot removers are kind of sacred, especially if you don't have a whole lot, and it's better to just save them up. And then there's also a equipment upgrade bonanza. What this basically means is when you're re-upgrading slots, it gives you like a bonus chance of getting that to gold and red. And for those asking, am I going to go over like team building and equipment building? I'm not doing that, because there are 2 separate videos that I made already for both of those categories. That way everything is not smushed into one video. And then there's also a couple more things, but we're going to talk about that in a little bit, right? So there's a couple things I want to mention. So let's talk about the summons, because this is actually a good time to start. The reason why I say this is because right now they also have this right here. There's a Legends. Well, basically this is guaranteeing you 3 Legends Limited, but it's on the second step. So right now we currently have missions for this, and we don't have all 200 tickets for the missions yet, but they're still adding the last part of the missions that we need. And once you have that, you get 3 LFs guaranteed. And as a new player, it can definitely help. I mean, none of these LFs on here are really just super crazy anything. A lot of them are either about a year, I would say about a year or older, because some of these came out during Legends Festival of the previous year, and some of them are just old. They have Zenkais already. So we also have this, and then there's also a pickup summon that we're supposed to be getting. I don't know yet. They have no date on that. We're supposed to be getting 3 pickup tickets for that, and basically those are going to be very, very I guess special tickets, because most of the LFs on that banner are going to be up to date. meaning they're not going to be none of these older LFs that you see on this banner. So do keep that in mind. If you want to start now, it's really just the best time to start. And then we also have, there's a boost campaign for story mode as well, where pretty much you're not using any energy for the first 9 parts of the story, and there's 15 in total. So up until part 9, you don't have to use any energy. It's all free. So that is a W, because energy is also sacred in this game. That's one of the more important resources that we're going to talk about as well. And then there's also a super boost campaign. What does that mean? Pretty much it's a super boost for any sort of you're upgrading your characters, or say you're doing an event, like a Zenny event to get more Zenny. It's pretty much the same thing with that. And I think they have it labeled down here somewhere, maybe. I could be wrong, but it's labeled somewhere in the news, and I'd rather not, spend all the time trying to find it. But it's probably right. Yeah, it's right here. So this is all the way into the 10th. Now, I don't know if that's about a month. That's still about, I would say, close to 2 weeks. And the same thing with the 100 million campaign. I think, it's probably going to last for another week or two. Because the Sand Saga campaign is also going. So whenever the Sand Saga campaign ends, most likely the 100 million users campaign is going to end as well, because they pretty much released them both side to side. So it's basically 2 campaigns at the same time. But besides that, I think that is the majority of what to include on what, why, it's a pretty good time to start now. The game isn't really fresh with content. I think that's more for us who are the veterans, the people that play the game regularly. But a new player, there's going to be plenty of content, so do keep that in mind. Now moving on to what should you be grinding first, what events, what certain resources that you probably should be grinding. First things first is, let's hop over to events. So I'm going to mention it again. This event, you're gonna want to grind this, because this is, you need star movers to upgrade your equipment. So therefore, you're gonna want to get this event and everything. Make sure you're doing it every day, twice a day. That is the limit on it. So do keep that in mind. When it comes to certain events, let's say for the weekend, you can do these as well. These are also important because you have, some of these medals that are also pretty important as well. Then you have all these other ones for the equipment, and like I said, I'm not going to go over equipment and everything. We've already mentioned that in a separate video. You have the Super XP, you have Zenny. I do recommend grinding the Zenny event on the weekend. The reason why that is because they also give you these gold bars. So these gold bars, you can use it to, exchange for way more Zenny than what you're going to be, getting out from just doing the event itself. And then all this is for soul boosting your characters and all that good stuff. Now, besides that, right? When it comes to what to grind first, you can do a lot of these beginner friendly type of stuff. But the main thing that's going to be what you're going to grind is story mode. And the reason why that is chrono crystals. Don't know what those is, because it's pretty early for me, so I probably should have mentioned crystals. But like I said, I'm doing it in sections. So whatever resources are the most important, crystals is probably the one at the top, because you gotta use those to get more characters. You can't get more characters without it. So that is probably the number one most important resource in the game. The story mode is where you're gonna get majority, most of your crystals from. There is 15 in total, 15 parts, each one with different chapters and books, I believe. And then, some chapters or some parts have hard mode, giving you even more crystals. So do keep it in mind. If you're joining the game, or maybe you're re-rolling, you probably already know that story mode gives you a lot of crystals. So that is what you should be grinding. And then there's also different different other things and all that good stuff. But besides story mode, you should probably be grinding co-op. I do recommend this. Obviously, you have to get more characters because there's battle bonus characters, but you don't have to play it on the extreme difficulty if you don't want to. The extreme difficulty just gives you more medals, especially for the limited time rewards. And I do recommend that you guys only do it for the limited time rewards, because you can grind it, but you're not gonna get as many medals compared to what you're doing it for these 3 limited time rewards. Those are pretty much like that's the way I do it, because I realized after grinding it a couple times without the limited time rewards, you're gonna be grinding for a long time. Unless you really need those medals, there's no reason for you to even, that's a lot of time wasted, right? But you're gonna need those co-op medals, especially to get like different stuff from the co-op shop. That's very helpful and everything. We're gonna go over that in a little bit, but besides that, right, we have we went over crystals, we went over story mode, co-op. You should also be saving up on your energy. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, this is a very important one because you need energy to pretty much do events. And when I mean events, you know, like non-PvP events. So therefore, you know, we're gonna go over a little bit later in the video where to get some of this stuff as well, because some of it you can't just grind. There's not like an event specific for it, which kind of sucks. But besides energy, we're gonna move on to what are the most important resources, the ones that you should be grinding first and just pretty much just stacking up on and saving up. Now, one of them is, like I mentioned, is going to be Zenny. We're going to go over that one first. Zenny, this is very important because you need it to upgrade your equipment, to upgrade your character. Whenever you're training your character, I think you need Zenny. I could be wrong, but I know for a fact it's whenever you're upgrading your character, whenever you're soul boosting your character, whenever you're upgrading equipment, it all uses Zenny, and it uses a lot. So look at Zenny, right? Like I mentioned, the main event that you're probably going to be doing is this Super Zenny one. There's also shops that do also exchange Zenny, but this one is the most beneficial, you know. So when you get these gold bars, like I mentioned, you go to the exchange shop, and in the exchange shop, there's a shop right here that's called the Recycle Center, and this thing gives you, you know, Zenny for the gold bars. But the thing is, you're getting way more Zenny than what you would normally get from, let's say, doing that event like 30-40 times. It gives you pretty much like twice the amount of Zenny. So that's why I say on the weekends is where you really want to grind, you know, like Zenny, the gold bars and all that good stuff. And like I mentioned, there's also shops, you know, when it comes to like the raids, or whenever we have like a campaign, we have like a certain medals for that shop. There is, you know, shops for Zenny as well, but I don't recommend it because it's way easier just to use the gold bars, and you're getting way more compared to like those other shops that you see in the exchange shop. So besides Zenny, right, there's also, like I mentioned earlier, slot removers or erasers. So we're actually gonna hop over here.
I'll give you all I've got.
We're gonna hop over to equipment, because right now you see it right there. We have that equipment, you know, bonus campaign. So this is the, you know, like the best time, especially if you want to grind certain equipment for certain characters. Now these are the slot removers. Now we have a limit to up to like it's literally 999, basically 1,000. Where you're getting, you know, majority of these. So right now we don't have a raid, but normally when we have a raid, you would grind a raid with certain like bonus characters, and the raid shop would be over here under the recommended. But we don't have one currently active. There is going to be one coming up soon, I know, because, you know, anniversary is coming up as well. So that is going to be like one of your primary areas where you want to grind for slot removers. And also, like I mentioned earlier, there's going to be the, you know, ultra space time rush, because when you do the event, they give you the gold and the regular ones, but the gold medals, you can use these to pretty much get slot removers. Now there is other ways as well. There is also these platinum coins, which you can get these from like certain shops whenever we have, like I said, like special campaigns going on for a certain tag. You can get these from those shops as well. And then there's also, let's say for example, if we have like a PvP season that gives like certain like medals, or like these right here, the plates, you can also use those to get slot removers. So there's a lot of different ways to get slot removers from the like the shops and everything. But the most, I would say, consistent is going to be either the raids or you pretty much going to this Space Time Rush shop. And I do recommend, if you're going to do this, you probably won't be able to finish it as a beginner, because I will say, like the last stage that you have to do. So there's 3 stages that they give you. I can just show you guys real quick. There's 3 stages that they give you, and the last one is pretty hard. And see, this kind of messes with my time schedule, because this is the regular one, right? Because I forgot to mention this. There's this one. So you guys can also do this one, but there's only 2 days left. So by the time this, this video actually gets any, I would guess, like view count, recognition for those beginners, it might be too late, right? But this is something that I do recommend for anyone that might be watching this in the future. They normally bring this around every so and so, especially around like the big celebrations. They do bring this around. I know that for a fact. So hopefully it comes back during the anniversary and everything. But this one, it's definitely for the beginners, and it's way easier. It gives you around the same amount that you're getting from doing the regular one. But besides slot removers, right? Like I mentioned, I said chrono crystals. I do chrono crystal guides, so you guys can just check those out. For those who pretty much want to, know how to get crystals and everything. Souls is also something that is very important in this game, because without them, you cannot upgrade your character. You cannot unlock them to their full potential. So pretty much you're going to be handicapping them if you don't soul boost your character. Now there is 5 of them in total for each color type that we have in the game: red, yellow, purple, green, and blue. Now where you get these souls from, right? So same thing with the Zenny. It is pretty much these events down here. Now, when you're doing these events, the reason why I say, it's way more efficient to get the, like the certain resources out of the shops, like you see right here, soul exchange medals, because they give you way more of the value than you would actually be, I guess, doing it on the actual event, and you're just wasting energy at that point, right? So these soul exchange medals, it's the same thing with the gold bars. They give you way more. You're getting 3,000 for only 1 medal. And they also give it to you for also these other ones, which is for the Zenkai characters, and these are for the regular characters. And they got all of them, and it's way more efficient. Now, where you get these soul exchange medals, it's kind of the same thing. You can do that event that I showed you guys earlier, which is only available on the weekend, but you can get 5 of them each day, and that would be 15, because there's 3 days for the weekend login. But most of the time you're gonna get these out of like certain shops. Like you go over here to the recommended, like the 100 million medals that you see right here. Like I said, they're gonna be in these type of shops, especially like for the raid as well. They love to put them in these shops where you have to pretty much collect certain medals and get it out the shop. So there's gonna be a lot of grinding, but they're all over the shops. They're all in there if you just look. There's no like specific shop or a specific event to grind it every single day, which I wish it was, but I guess that would kind of make the game a little bit easy. I don't know. When it comes to PvE in this game, it's not the greatest, in my opinion. There's a lot that they can really do, but they don't, right? And besides all that we just went over, I was gonna mention seed medals lastly, but I don't think that's something that you should be worried about grinding, especially when you join the game, because they take a lot of resources just to even upgrade your characters, and there is no guarantee that it's going to upgrade your character fully, because there's only a 30% chance with these things. And go over here, so we use these things called the art cores. These are what you're using. This is something that's like a secondary soul boost system, in a simple terms of putting it for you guys. It's basically like a secondary soul boost system, and you're getting even more of a stat buff. But the thing is, they cost so much Zenny, so much resources, which is why I'm not going to mention it just for this video. But besides that, everything that I went over, a couple of things that you should be grinding and everything. I don't believe I mentioned energy. When it comes to energy, it's more of like you kind of, you know, gotta just save up on it over time, because there is an option where you can use crystals, which I don't recommend unless you really need the energy to do certain events. But when it comes to energy, you can get it from just like different missions all around. And the mission tab, there is, I guess, some shops, could they also have it as well. Yeah, like they're all, like a lot of these things are just all over in the shops, especially the shops where you have special medals for campaigns. I believe it's the same thing for this. You go down here for the platinum coin shop. The only thing that I hate is they did, like, this was like some time ago, they did have like these energy tickets that you were able to collect, and they also had like an event as well that you will be able to do, and you will be able to collect these and just, you know, get energy from them. But now they don't do it no more, and it kind of sucks, right? There's some things that I hope that they do eventually bring back. Right now, it isn't active, but there's normally like an event that you do every day. It gives you like 50 energy. You just do it once a day. Right now, it did go away and everything, so eventually they're going to bring that back. But I think that kind of covers everything. Lastly, is obvious, don't summon on this banner right here. I'm pretty sure VB would be pretty tempting, and if you summon him, I wouldn't even be mad at you, because I don't even have the guy, and he's probably the only character that I really wanted out of the entire just of mix of characters that they have dropped in the past year or so. But don't summon on any of these banners, except for probably this one. I wouldn't mind it, but ultra banners are, I'm gonna just give you guys a heads up, ultra banners are one of those banners where you're gonna be stressful if you don't pull the unit within a certain amount of summons, because there is no unit on this banner that is good except for the ultra. This one, they're solid, but they're not great. But like I mentioned, hopefully we see who the LF is, because it is supposed to be being revealed at some time now. By the time this is uploaded, it definitely will be revealed. I'm thinking probably an LF Vegeta. The boy needs some love. You know, they stay doing the man wrong. I think it's about time they do something good for him and everything, as far as like character development and how good the unit is. But as always, I think there's going to be everything. You know, those are going to be like the resources that you need to grind first. Events, you know, there's not a lot of events. That's why I say PvE kind of sucks in this game. But story mode will definitely be on top of everything that you need to grind. I'm not going to mention terminal power. I feel like that's not something that I'm really smart about, even though I'm in the Z League. Like I mentioned, co-op, different events, grind some of them, get the resources. You also have like the game original events. You don't necessarily grind these for like resources. You can just grind them to do the missions. The missions give you crystals, which is always a plus. But besides that, I think that covers about everything. Hopefully that, you know, whoever's watching this, you find it helpful, and it at the end of the day, I do. It's like I keep saying because it's like it's really early for me. I'm not a morning person. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. As always, everyone have a blessed day. It's your boy JB. I'm out.